So hello and welcome to a new Power BI video. On Monday, I actually did a Power BI video on data flows where we went through the architecture and the details about it. I touched on security, licensing, anything you can imagine. And you asked me, okay, can you do a practical demo of how to create data flows? You've been having issues for whatever reason. And I thought, yes, let's do that. So in today's video, I'm actually going to create a data flow with my Pro account, and then I'm going to create a data flow with my Premium account. So you can see the difference between the experience of creating with one or the other licensing model. So with that said, how about we get started and we create our first data flow. So this is my Pro account, okay? And I don't have any data flow, as you can see, so we're going to create the first data flow. And it's actually very easy. You just go here to create data flow, and then it says add entities to start creating your data flow. Go to the video on Monday, so you see what an entity is, but the entity is basically your data, your tables. So it says, I wish they call it tables, even if they are not like real tables, but so add a new entity, and here we start getting the Power Query Online experience. You know, as I mentioned on the video, Power data flows are Power Query Online, but there are differences around that. So here we have the get data experience from Power Query. You have all kinds of data sources. More will be added. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick my North Wind dataset. You know how much I like that dataset. So how about we just grab it and create a data flow for that. So it is an OData feed. We just paste the URL to the data feed. It doesn't need a gateway to refresh. Yeah, it's an online source, and then it is anonymous. So I click next. Again, this is the Pro license. So you see how it works. And now I get, it got connected to the OData feed. And I'm going to grab the orders table and the order details table. And then I click next. I don't need to see a preview. I know how they look. And what I've experience creating data flows is that on the Pro account you have to wait a little until it loads. Okay, so if you just click done, you'll see all kinds of errors. So just give it some time for it to load. Okay, and now it is loading. It's giving us a warning. It says the query orders contain columns with complex types that cannot be loaded. And it's loading. And as you can see, the order details has not loaded yet. It has a question mark in there. Now it's getting in the process of loading. And then you get the second warning, which is basically saying the same thing, that there are complex types that cannot be loaded. So let's wait and see. When it loads, I'll fast forward so you don't have to watch this. Okay, so now both our tables have loaded. And I am guessing that these ones are the ones that is complaining about. So how about we delete? This is, as you can see, the Power Query experience, but with less buttons. I guess the Power BI team has not had the time to add everything in. Order details. We go in there. If you leave these columns in there, it won't refresh and it just won't work. You have to remove them. That's what I've discovered. So you see that the warning disappears. So you cannot have that type of columns in there. So make sure you remember that. If you try to load, it won't load and it won't work. It was just nothing will happen. And what I want to do is I want to take these two and I want to combine them as a new. So I take orders and order details, and instead of have two tables, I just want to have one, and the order ID is the key. Exactly the same experience as you would have in Power BI. It says computed entities require premium to refresh. To enable refresh, upgrade these to the premium capacity. So you cannot merge queries or data flows into or entities in Pro license. So if we leave this as is, nothing will work. Okay, so let's delete that. Delete. Bye. Done. And it says we're validating your queries to ensure that the data can be loaded. And here we have, this is our first data flow on Pro. So we go save, and this is Northwind orders table. Horrible name, but let's go for it. It says your data has been refreshed, set the schedule. And I didn't know you could schedule refresh this. Maybe because it is an online source and it doesn't require a gateway, because I am on my Pro account. That was weird. Okay, good. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go to, again, social media, data flows, and my experience, you have to refresh it once before you can consume it. If you don't, it just doesn't work. Okay, so make sure that at least you refresh it manually once, and then the schedule refresh will do its work, basically. And we wait. Okay, so now we have our data flow created without errors. And if I go to Power BI, okay, so now here in Power BI, if I go to Get Data and then Data Flows, continue. And here it appears the data flow that we have. I just have this one that I created, and I can start consuming my data flows. Queries, and here is the data. Close and apply. So now you can use them. And because the data is stored in a data lake, you can again use it or reuse it in other places. So this is the experience with Power BI Pro license data flows. Now, if we go to the premium license, your experience is going to be completely different. So here I have logged in with my premium account. Okay, we go to workspaces, demos, Power BI data flows, and then I create the first data flow. Now I'm on a premium license. Okay, add entities, and I need to have this one again. I go to other OData, copy. Again, no data gateway is needed, so just ignore that. Click next. It's connecting to the source. As you can see, it's much faster than with my Pro account. Order details. Next. And then you see it's already loading. Boom. That is loading too. It goes quite fast, to be honest. And it says the query contains complex types that cannot be loaded. So how about we get rid of them? And then go to the order details. We're going to get exactly the same error, obviously. So we have to get rid of them. As you can see, it is so much faster. Delete. And now we go to the map to standard. You know, I said on the video wrong all the time. I said CMD, which is CDM. I think at some point I just correct myself. I said this is the common data model instead of CMD, but this is the common data model, and I should do a video about that separately. But it allows you to map your data fields. We will do another video, or let me know in the comment box if you want me to do a video about it. So we go here, combine tables, merge as new, we get orders, order details, order ID, ordered ID. Okay, and this time it's going to let me merge those two because we are on a premium account, and with premium licenses you can merge entities and you can merge data flows and you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. So this is North Wind order merged. Done. And then I guess you get this symbol. It is a compute entity for advanced data transformations. It's just warning. Have I forgotten? Oh, there is. Yeah, sure. I have to do the entire merge, right? Okay, so we don't need the order number. We just want these ones. We're expanding, you know, we just merge and then we have to tell which columns we want to have added. And then the error disappears. Gorgeous. And done. We're validating your queries. Just you see, it goes super fast. And one thing I would have liked, you know, if you watch the video on Monday, you will see that dataflows grabs data from the sources and put it in a data lake. So this data has been moved from the old data source into a data lake on Azure. And I think it would be great if, because I just merged these two tables, I don't necessarily want to have the 3 data tables. So I would like to delete these two. I don't want them stored. I just want the new merged data, but it just merged everything. I don't know if it's possible. If you know, let me know. At the moment, it's just merging everything and giving us all the tables. Let's grab it, let's save it, and say North Wind data. North Wind order merge. Save. And then you can set a schedule refresh as before. And you can also set an incremental refresh. Okay, so how do you set this incremental refresh? That means that only new data is loaded. So to do that, you go to the data flow, you click on it to go, to the edit mode where you can access the entities or the tables or data that is in there. And then you just pick the data flow that you want to incremental refresh. You click on. First, you choose a date time to be filtered by, and then it gets the date on the table. So it says order date. Store, so how many rows you want to get stored from the past, if you want everything, or if you just want the last year to be stored on the data lake. So that means that you don't have to move everything to the data lake, only just some of the data. It says here the text data changes. This is quite cool. So it says it only refreshes data if the maximum value on order date changes. So that means if a new day comes, just refresh. And the last one is only refresh complete. It's quite cool. It says on the documentation, so it's only refreshing complete periods. For example, in finance, imagine a final system where data for previous month is approved the 12th of the following month. So, the data, financial data from January should only be uploaded on the 12th of February because that's when you've done all the changes. So that basically means that this should only refresh on the 12th of February and not before. So, save. Let's put 20 because this is like super old data. Save. And that's how you get the schedule refresh fixed. So this is it for the practical demo. Let me know what you think on the comment box. Make sure if you watch the video on Monday, make sure you read the comments. There are a lot of great examples of people that are really enthusiastic about data flows and how they plan to use it. So it will give you an idea of use cases. I am not a target user for data flows, so I think you will get help from, other people in the community to see how they would use a data flow. So I'll see you again on Friday. Until then, take care. Bye.